frags just yet, but Shock finds Crew, and the Earth Shatter comes in. It's massive! Paragon showing us it's his turf. White's now
and a pulse pop from Trev ends up getting the double kill there in the backline. Upgrade able to pick up. Oh goodness, here comes the Blizzard. Gonna look to get the attack.
And in the sleep though, in the nade in, and they don't even need a single ult here to win it other than Shatter. And Kavat taking out Socher there from a mile away.
Upgrade taking out Big Bro. That's the long one. Oh, but
Paragon with another Shatter! That's three
Shatters! Getting love in the background. This may be possible. It could be. It really could be the boom. Oh, still here.
Welcome to season 3. Welcome to season 3 of the Rose Cup. Welcome to season 3.
Welcome to season 3 of the Rose Cup.
Welcome to season 3.
Welcome to season 3 of the Rose Cup.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another amazing match at
Welcome everyone to another lovely night here at the Rose Cup, Season 3, Week 1, and we're in the Platinum Division tonight. I'm Man of Class, casting tonight with Megalad. How are you tonight?
We are here to enjoy some phenomenal Overwatch. I am great. I am ready. I am ecstatic.
Yeah, which teams are we so ecstatic about? Because there's some, it's going to be a good one, I hope.
Yes, indeed. We have the Kings Row Saints going up against the Volcanic Violets tonight.
Ooh.
And it's definitely going to be an interesting matchup. Obviously, you know, we have the new 2-2-2 here in Season 3. No Sigma quite yet. You know, we're letting teams learn. But it's definitely going to be an interesting matchup. Obviously, you know, we have our set map order here, doing what we must. We're going to start on Lijiang, I believe. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see probably a lot of May Reaper, just because Lijiang itself favors those kind of heroes just to start with before any kind of meta-defining hero comes in. So,
Yeah, and it's always good to just ease everyone a little bit into the competition. Sigma, while you're playable in role queue, Blizzard doesn't call it official competitive season, so neither do we, and that means Sigma is not available in competitive, so you can't play him in the Rose League. But will be soon if you're waiting for that. It's going to be 2 weeks, and then the Sigma will be in. For now, though, go to Legion Tower. Like we said, Kings Row Saints versus the Volcanic Violets. And I'm looking forward to this one because it looks like both teams are ready for it. And they have been ready for quite a while. We just had a little bit of technical issues starting.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, Lijiang is definitely one of those interesting maps. You know, we're starting here on the, I can never remember the name of it, but it's got a big tower and you can play far.
It's the Gardens.
It's the Gardens. Wow. Would you look at that? Phenomenal background knowledge that you need to know.
Yeah.
So
I know. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no. I am just stumbling tonight. Okay, take it.
That's completely fine. I just hope no one's going to be too distracted by the fish that are sort of floating around underneath the tower. Because otherwise, there'll be some environmental kills. But with the Lucios on the field, that could definitely be something that's going to happen. It looks like both of them want to run one.
Yeah, it looks like, obviously, you know, the 16-second swaps can still happen. But on the side, geez Louise, I am just lagging a little bit, but it is okay. So on one side, we do have the May Reaper chilling, ready to go. It looks like coming out of the spawn room. On the other side, we're going to have a Hanzo Ashe to start. Interesting sniper picks.
Yeah, interesting choice. I hope they can get the range out. They're definitely not using this open space to their advantage going into this small room, but the spam is obviously going to come out as soon as possible. Shield of Orisa is down, but they're backing off already. The aggressive dive definitely has made their mark so far in the white room over here, but it looks like they're soon to be ready to maybe back off a little bit towards the point because they obviously want to take control first, but there is the attack coming in here from Volcanic Violets. They want to get something going here, and they freeze and demech the Diva here. And now with Winston also going down, yes, they do take the first point, but that will not be for long when Osprey just gets Seinfeld off the map. Aerosmith and Snowbird do get a little bit of a consolation damage backwards, but it's just going to be Will on the sidelines dropping off, and even a late kill on Aerosmith.
Yeah, and definitely interesting for Kings Row Saints to try to take that fight in that tiny corridor where May gets her maximum value, especially when you're running double sniper. It does look like they are trying to switch compositions now to more of a Reinhardt Zarya deal. possibly try to get through, throw Dragon Strike in just to get it out before you're switching to the Mei. And I think overall that fight it was not bound to go King's favor.
Go over to the Ryan Zarya, like you said, May Reaper as well. Even Will was already on the Ana, never mind. But a lot of damage, a little bit more close range than the other side is. The Reaper is already in Nexus, goes so deep and doesn't get out alive, gets booped up the map. Will also not long sleeping with the fishes, as we were alluding to before. There's going to be, they're trying to get something done here, but it doesn't look like this is going to be their fight.
Yeah, unfortunately for Kings there, you're pushing into a Mei that has an advantage, so you're already at a disadvantage. Plus, you're pretty much on an eco push right there just because you reset 4 of your ultimate switching compositions. But you do have a nano boost up that's not going to be mirrored on the other side. But on the other side of being the volcanic vets, you are going to have a beat drop, a beat drop, a bomb, a Mei ult, and a supercharger. And it looks like actually all 6 ults are going to come online before this fight.
Yeah, all kid and caboodle is ready. The first is already coming out. There's the Blizzard, the Coalescence. Sereniac is already off the map. Paragon also following after that halt. And it looks like environmental kills are just deciding the fate of every fight before they even start.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's huge from Osprey to be able to look out for the environmental kills. Also, Storm Creator with the halts. Definitely just a lot of zoning going on, and that's the issue with this Mei Reaper composition as it stands right now, is it acts like an old goats where just once you're on a point, to get you off, you're gonna have to fight tooth and nail.
They do have some ultimates coming out right now. They definitely have their support ultimates and that Shatter ready, so they could do some damage with those. Shatter Lance actually hit quite a few, but Smooshy answers with a Death Blossom. They're trading out the kills, but it looks like Kings of Saints is actually coming out on top of this. Very nicely done from them. They finally got some ultimate value, and they even drag some ultimates out of the other side. Now, don't C9 this, guys. It is Legion Gardens, but they managed to get Sereniac back in the mech and back off the cliff.
Yep, Sereniac just getting the hard reset there. Actually huge for Kings Row Saints to take that the way they did, because all it took them was their Coalescence and their Shatter, so they still have 4 ults to try to extend this hold, whereas over on the side of the Volcanic Violets, they only have 2 ults left now, being the beat drop and the bomb, so if this bomb doesn't come up huge, we might be looking at a 99-99.
Yeah, I was going to use the beat first. That's always the big question, but it's definitely going to be a Blizzard from Aerosmith coming out here. Nicely done into the graph. No one's going to be able to go anywhere, and that is about half the team frozen up. The Reaper trying to do something from the side, but Smooshy, you can have all the shotguns you want. You're not going to be able to smoosh your way out of that one. Looks like a good fight here for Kings for Saints, and like you said, this could very well go to the 99-99.
Yeah, as long as the ultimates get staggered out properly, or used properly on the side of Kings Row, they could definitely stagger this out. They do have the Blossom and the Beat just to keep the Reaper alive, but they're also coming up on their Shatter yet again. And that's one of the advantages that you might have to a Rhine over Orisa, is the Shatter can be a lot more impactful with these kind of comms versus a Supercharger.
One bright light is that Pacifist is getting slightly closer to that. Oh, nice halt into that self-destruct. They do get a counter Shatter and a Death Blossom. They just clean him up with that one. It was looking like a good start with that self-destruct, but nothing could have been further from the truth after that follow-up. Only 2 support ultimates left, though, for Kings of Saints now.
Only 2 support ults, but you're not looking at anything ult-wise on the side of Volcanic Violets. Possibly if you get an extended fight, you can get a Blizzard up. That's going to be your win con right now as we're nearing the 99-99. Trying to hold him out on bridge.
Yeah, Raynor going very low in the beginning of that fight, but does manage to live. Smooshy's getting onto the point, and the rest of the team is to follow. But Smooshy gets taken away by Paragon. Paragon following up with another hammer swing. And with that grab, that's just a cleanup. That's just it. Kings for Saints is going to walk away with his first point on Legion Tower Gardens.
And that's just huge ult economy and awareness of using which ults in which fights. You were able to build your Rhine Shatter back up to combo with the Blossom when you used it to win 2 fights ago. And this is all, of course, with that ult nerf coming in this patch. So just huge ult awareness on the side of Kings Row Saints to start this off.
Yeah, and now we're going to Control Center. This is kind of what I was hoping for, because if the Mei is powerful anywhere, it is here. And I mean, what is the main problem the teams are having pushing into a Mei on this map?
I mean, it's just a matter of there are obviously once you're in the main room, you do have a bit more to work with, but every choke point can pretty much be held by a Mei. Then, of course, Ryan Zarya, this is one of that synergy's best maps, specifically Control Center, just because you can block entire doorways just with Ryan or just with Zarya. So between the three of them, they can pretty much hold out any team trying to come in.
We're once again seeing this different tank matchup. Everything else is going to be the same, but the Diva Orisa versus the Rein Zarya looking to be a theme of tonight so far. Paragon already swinging away, trying to charge it, doesn't really get anything from that, but they do push them back into that little small corridor where Maywalls could maybe be a lot more impactful, but with Raynor already being down, that's not looking like a very fruitful fight here for the side of the Volcanic Violets. They're doing a lot of work, but Pacifist going down, I think they're just gonna roll back to spawn. They're not even gonna make it. It's just gonna be the kills.
Yep, unfortunately, when you lose your first pick like that, to stay in is pretty risky. But if you notice Snowbrit, actually the silent hero, I've not seen him not lit up with energy this entire match. Like, he's just constantly fully charged. But Volcanic Violence finally trying to make a swap to Ryan's Zarya themselves to see if they can try to counter this aggression they're seeing.
The Shatter is already out. They do not really get a lot with that, but once again, Raynor and Pacifist first two to fall. And if they're May your Warrior down, doesn't look good for you the rest of the fight. They just clean it up. That's a clean team wipe. Nothing lost, everything gained.
Clean teep wipe. You're starting to close in on 4 different ultimates on the side of King's Row Saints, but all you have if you're the Volcanic Violets is the Moira Coalescence, which, while yes, it can do things, it's not that impactful, so it's definitely going to be hard these next few pushes.
They're closer to the sound barrier, but meanwhile, Will's already down. Paragon also falling. They're switching to Rein Zarya, and the Maywall is immediately working out. Nice Graviton coming in, but can they get the follow-up? The Blizzard might be able to, but there's not really that much damage there. Pacifist even freezing up Nexus, takes the headshot with Osprey together, and now it looks like they can steamroll onto the point and maybe take it straight away.
Yeah, but obviously, Aerosmith on the May is going to be able to delay for at least a little bit. Plus, with Paragon finally being able to get back, possibly have a fight, but the Blizzard.
Oh.
Do
They
not
used the
know.
Blizzard, but it only zones a little bit. No one's really in it. It did get the freeze in the Paragon because of it, and he doesn't get the Shatter up in time, so that's a nice one. But Death Blossom off Smooshy, that should really be the final nail in the coffin. They're going to clean up, but this percentage has been ticking up, so they need to do it sooner rather than later.
But look at it this way, right? If you're the side of the Kings Row Saints, you'll take that 100% just because they use so many ults to win a guaranteed fight.
Paragon goes down late again, though. That's not great. But like you said, the ult economy is looking really good for the Kings of Saints right now.
Yeah, it's just a matter of it's pretty much Sir ENIAC is gonna have to come up big with this Graviton. Otherwise, it could definitely be a quick retake from Kings Row to lock out the map 2-0.
They're not holding that close to the choke here, and Paragon actually going down the side was probably going to go for a flank shatter, but there was nothing really there to shatter for him. Now going through the high ground, ready for the shatter, hits Raynor. That's the only one, and he can't really follow up, but it's just a beautiful wall of Pacifist. The Death Wilson comes in, gets Smooshy. They can Nexus get more. It doesn't look like it just yet. Actually, Pacifist and Storm Creator, yeah, they're all going down right now. Looks like the Volcanic Violets might have not have the heat left in order to fight on this point. With 88%, they're going to struggle to come back into this.
They're going to struggle to come back in, and like I said, they had to hold aggressive there because once you're in this big open room, the May loses a bit of utility, but just the non-aggression there from the side of Volcanic Violets, it might have cost them the map, but they do touch.
Storm Creator and Smooshy on the point, but Storm Creator immediately getting charged away by Paragon. Smooshy trying to do all they can here on the point, but it's not going to be enough. Just with Raynor on the Moira there. She's a powerful hero, but not that powerful. Not 1v6 powerful. Looks like this is going to be a quick 2-0 here for the Kings Row Saints.
Yes, indeed. Moira, unfortunately, is not old Brigitte. She can't 1v6. So it's going to be a quick 2-0, and just once again, Volcanic Violets, they had the advantage there, but they needed to push their aggression. Instead, they backed off on the back foot and let Kings Row Saints reclaim space that just allowed them to get full control of the map once again.
It was really interesting, though, to see the Volcanic Violets switch over to that Rein Zarya as well after they had lost with the Moira, with the Diva Orisa before that. So yeah, I don't know if that's going to be a trend for the series. They kind of want to play the Orisa, but then the Reinhardt Zarya of Kings or Saints is going to prove more powerful. But it is an interesting dynamic between those 4 tanks right now.
Well, yeah, definitely. And I think it's just a matter of you kind of want to match tick for tack, and especially in Ryan situations. But that is that those points on Li Zhang can be more Ryan's Zarya favored, especially when you're playing tight corners like that. Maybe not so much gardens, but definitely the control center. Possibly you can get away with the Orisa on some of these future maps going in, but I don't know. It's definitely going to be an uphill battle from the look of the first map for Volcanic Violets,
Yeah.
but they can come
And if
back.
and if we're gonna go to the Kings Row map next, which should be the home territory of Kings Row Saints, and is still a very good map for Rhine Zarya, it looks like that might not really play in the favor of Volcanic Violets, who clearly have been practicing that Orisa Diva comp for quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can still play a bit of Orisa if you're playing that first point defense, doing what you must, but after you lose that first point, if you lose that first point, obviously you want to try to get the full hold. You pretty much have to switch to Rhine. Also, you can see a lot of Hanzo play just because the nice tight corridors of Kings allow for dragons to just do absolute work. So it'll be interesting to see what these teams go for.
Yeah, and it's always a question mark we can never really predict. But I do definitely feel that the Kingshore Saints are very comfortable, at least running the Rhine Zarya a lot of the time. Paragon on the Reinhardt just seems it in their element. You don't want to really want to go against that. So it looks like once again, it looks like their home turf map is definitely something that is going to work for them. But that being said, control is never the only thing that dictates the rest of a series. Control is usually a bit of that skirmish map. So I do definitely see Volcanic Violets do better on King's Row than they did on Lijiang just now.
Yeah, because a defender favored team per se might not do the best on control, but they can definitely get full holds that can help them advance in the series even further. So it's never an immediate tell of everything. But obviously, I wouldn't count anything out yet just because Snowbrit, like I was trying to allude to earlier, on that Zarya, full charge every time I looked at him, just simply insane.
Yeah, really looking forward to this one, by the way, because I've said it a few times in the past. But Kings Row, it has not been that much of a staple map in a lot of recent tournaments and leagues and just cups that have been run around the scene. For the sole reason that it was always in, so that's why no one put it in anymore because it was always in. So they wanted to give other maps a chance. So it's always refreshing to really be able to cast Kings Row again. Not because it's such a familiar map, it always helps, but just because I haven't seen it in a while. And I'm looking at the defense right now, and looks like they do still want to run in with this Orisa.
Yeah, they do want to. I mean, like I said, this is one of those maps on at least first point you can get away with the Orisa just because you do have a bit of high ground and you have a lot of staying power on a point, especially as Orisa with the May Reaper composition. You have a lot of sustain going on, but it's going to be interesting if they roll out of the attacker spawn Kings Row Saints on this.
Yeah,
And
and
there's
what
the
is
immediate
next?
swap.
And the question is, what is Nexus going to be able to do with that Widowmaker? Because with all the barriers and the structures here, it might be hard to get that Widowmaker in a right position. And Nexus, for that reason, so straight over to the May. Pressure is out already. Storm Creator backing up a little bit, but not that far. They're holding relatively aggressively. The wall blocking off the halt hook combo, and now they're starting to advance. Paragon leading the charge here. They're walled off a little bit, so Blue goes in hard. Is now finally swapped back in here for Smooshy. The barrier Paragon is down, but so is that of Storm Creator. But let's not forget, Orisa's barrier charges up quick. Nice Immortality Field to deny that charge follow-up. The Chatter is already there from Paragon, though. Pacifist will follow that reason. And even though Baptiste's application metrics is out, there's not enough damage in the world to pull this fight back. It's just going to be Blue trying to survive, but that's a team kill. And the first point going over to the Kings Row Saints.
And once again, you see Volcanic just backs off for no reason. They do switch over to Rhine Zarya themselves now to try to mirror it once again, but they need to be able to have a foot forward, to have confidence in themselves as a team, to just aggressively hold. They don't. Every time they give up space, it's just inviting Paragon to get fire strikes. And as you saw, he built a shatter, and I believe it was 40 seconds there. Might be a little bit more, but that's still insanely fast considering the new patch.
Yeah, I mean, Paragon keeps getting these fast shatters, and it just is a testament to how aggressive Paragon can be here against the team of Volcanic Violets. So if they can somehow violate aggression, that could be really good. And right now, Paragon just keeps walking forward, is now frozen, so a little bit punished positioning, but is managing to back off, use the shield to get back to the team. And right now, it's once again the Volcanic Violets on the run. Next is GK, just cleaning them up. His Reaper shotgun's doing a lot of work. The Hellfire is burning hard.
Yeah, the shotguns are doing a lot of damage, but as you saw in that little fight right there, I guess you can't really call it a fight. It was more of a pick then leave type of deal. Nexus was able to get the kill onto Storm Creator, but as his team was backing off, like Nexus's team was in full retreat, trying to regroup, get some health back, and he still is just getting picks. It's an insane DPS power.
Uncontested second point capture. Blue goes down. The shatter falls from Paragon. The Blizzard to follow it up. I don't think anyone's getting out alive over here. What a beautiful follow up. And they have the ultimate, so why not use them? Pacifist last to fall. It is Paylo's just not stopping.
You know, I'm actually okay with them not using ults there if you're Volcanic, just because they're on the very edge of point B. Their spawn is right there. If you want to try to get this hold on C, you're going to have to try to get a hold somewhere around this corner. It gives you a nice little leverage point to hang out at. But if you get any further than this, there's just a very dangerous ledge as we're getting back into the fight.
Nice graviton, but no real follow-up, and there is the Blizzard from the defense. Is people gonna be frozen up by that? Seinfeld and Aerosmith seem to be in a little bit of trouble, but the Moira healing does save them. It's gonna be Nexus trying to get as far into them as possible, but it goes a little bit too deep. Snowbrit, Nexus down, Paragon nowhere to be found, so that really means this fight has finally been won by the Volcanic Violets, and they are, they're putting up a fight now.
Yeah, they're finally getting stuff up on the board, but what's really important is they won that fight. Like, yes, they used the Blizzard to begin it, but they're already almost 50% back to that Blizzard, and they have every other ult besides Coalescence up online, so they can definitely stagger this out into some big holds, and with picks like that.
Charge on Snowbrid with the wall. Nice combo as well. The rest, Aerosmith's a little bit low, so he's going to back up. They don't want to attack without their Zarya there. Missing a lot of bubbles, missing a lot of health. Paragon almost caught out with another wall. But for now, it looks to just be a little bit of a stalemate. Actually, I say that, but Blue wanted to go in very deep. Has that Death Blossom ready. It might actually pop it there, but no. They're going to choose to get out alive, be safe, hold around the corner.
Yeah, but still, they're just backing up to the payload, so now is the measured aggression, and shatters like that. It's risky.
Yeah, I mean, Paragon really blocked that out nicely, but it's still under a lot of pressure themselves. Storm's Creator does fall, but they have the Blizzard. They actually didn't even need the Blizzard. They throw it out even later. They just used the Graviton Blizzard and the Death Blossom there after Storm Creator had already used the Shatter.
And they use 5 ultimates to get that hold. That's pretty... Yikes. You do still have the Sound Bearer, and there's no ultimates quite yet up online, but we're coming up on a Blizzard and a Beat Drop on the side of Saints, so they're going to come back in here guns blazing.
Osprey, the one with the ultimate, went down here. Paragon tries to charge in, but is going to get frozen and taken down. Blue has also fallen in the meantime, but missing that shield could be a very big problem for the Kings Row Saints. They're still walled off, getting halted a lot, and the slowing is really big here for the side of Volcanic Violets. They're a member down. They're still doing a lot of work here. That Blizzard is going to get Osprey, but Osprey will probably stay alive here because the Coalescence is already online and Nexus has to back up. Storm Creator will fall in the front line, but so will Nexus, so it's still quite even member-wise. And the ultimates are now going to come online for both teams. There's the Graviton, there's the Coalescence. They're on the payload, all bunched up here, and this team is going to get wiped, but they might get another chance to defend here.
Yeah, they might get a stall attempt with stall heroes like Wrecking Ball and Doomfist, but Osprey uses his ult there before anything goes down, which is pretty risky. Doesn't seem to pay off, so now they're in full stall mode.
Storm Creator spinning to win, actually gets that stall out. It's only Blue. Oh, I said that, but Nexus with the last few shots of the Death Blossom gets a few more kills. That's just the cleanup. 2 minutes and 9 seconds. Pretty fast time, but not as fast as it could have been. So still a good effort from Volcanic Violets to hold them up for at least a little bit.
I think Volcanic Violence is finally starting to find their footing. They're starting to try to match this aggression, which they're going to have to. But that last fight right there was a lot of things that happened that let the Saints take it, especially starting with the beat being used by Osprey a bit early. But then the Blizzard, while it didn't necessarily catch anybody besides Osprey, it still zoned Storm Creator back from his team in a 5v1 scenario where he just couldn't win. He had to try to hold shield up to get resources, and he just couldn't get them. And that's just a snowball effect once you lose one player.
And right now we're gonna obviously see them attack from their own, and it's gonna be interesting to see what we see for the defense. I don't think we see much changing though, because the defense, Kings were Saints, they've been doing fine with this Ryan Zarya May Reaper composition. There's not really a reason to change it up. That's why you won't see them do it. They're just gonna run out with that on spawn.
I think I think it's definitely interesting to continue trying to match this if you're Volcanic, especially on the Ryan Zarya, because Paragon seems to just be allowed to do what he wants. You know, Snowbrit being at high energy, while yes, it means he's dealing damage, it also means he's shielding a lot of incoming damage, probably onto that Reinhardt, and just absolutely tearing up. Like, this Paragon is just being allowed to play the game, and that's something you can't let Reinhardts do ever, because they will do a lot of damage, they'll build shatters, and you'll get wiped before you know it.
Yeah, and even the supports are being matched here. We're gonna see Blue and Pacifist now on the Hanzo and the Ashe to start out with. They might go back to spawn and just mirror it, but it seems like they're really hell bent on trying to run this at least for a little bit. Wolfram's
do
easier
have-
from Arrow, but yeah, they're just gonna poke for a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit of poke. Like I said, this is a Hanzo favored map. As they go into the fight, though, Hanzo might not be favored.
Rainer going very low, and Osprey once again a little bit too deep. Storm Creator also falling because of that nice wall placement from Aerosmith. And right now, they're just gonna have to go back and spawn and try something else, or try the same thing but in a different way.
I personally, yeah, as you see, they're probably switching over to the May Reaper as we speak, just because Sniper, like I said, this is Hanzo's definitely type of map once you're in the streets phase. But here, you know, you might not be getting the most value you can, especially with a Reinhardt shield and Zarya bubbles to try to shoot through.
I tried to make sure they couldn't get walled off from the choke, but the May wasn't in the hotel like they thought they was. Let's see. They're gonna try and probably get through this going around the statue. The wall actually doesn't block anyone properly. It wasn't completely in the choke there. Coalescence comes out from the attackers, and Paragon Shatter goes a little bit wide. I don't really know where that was gonna go. But right now, it doesn't really matter. Paragon down, Seinfeld, and Nexus also falling. This is not going to be a long defense, especially when Aerosmith can't even stall because of the charge.
Yeah, and Paragon right there just starting to possibly show some overconfidence with some very important shatter. You know, that measured aggression has to be measured. Otherwise, you could lose full control and just feed your brains out. And that's what gives Volcanic their first cap on Kings.
Storm Creator closest shatter of their own. Snowbrit, though, 83% on that Graviton. Aerosmith with the Blizzard. This could be a very easy fight win if they place those ultimates correctly, but they still have to get in position to properly use them. Cart is finally approaching the archway. That could be dangerous if they get held in that archway specifically. But there's the Blizzard in front of the wall. Storm Creator was bubbled, but will still get frozen up in the end. Both the Ryan and Zarya are down, and I think that's your ticket to retreat. But I don't think they're going to let you out alive. You can stay in that block all you want, Pacifist. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, when you throw out a Blizzard, it's pretty much a game when you're on a payload. One thing I must say, though, it's very interesting with this evolving meta. Obviously, you have Lucio Moira mirrored on both sides. It's very interesting who has to sit on the payload in these situations, because you do want to always keep that progression moving. But to have a Lucio back there like that when he could be speeding your team in and out to measure aggression, I don't know if it's worth the risk.
Yeah, Sereniac now going over to the Diva once again. There's another Shatter, this time from Storm Creator, but the one from Paragon is just a little bit better. The Blizzard, though, seems to freeze up everyone. Nice one from Pacifist, and I think they're just going to clean everything up with that, because that was a huge one.
That was a huge Blizzard. While the Shatter may not have been successful, it was enough. And that was just a huge set play. The whole team rotating up top, using the speed boost to get in before their enemy could really know what they were facing. And it allows them to get quite a bit of payload push here. They're definitely not going to get all of B. There will be an easy recontest here, but if they can get past this corner, they're looking in good standings.
Yeah, and Snowbrit has been holding on to this ground for quite a while, so I'm expecting that to come out this time. They have to be careful, because Sereniac, with that defense matrix, could just eat it and take it all away. And besides that, a wall from Pacifist could just deny a lot of follow-up as well. So while Blue has the Death Blossom ready, and there's a Sound Barrier, they're going to go aggressive with that one, I think. They're going to use it to engage. And there's Blue in the back line. They just distracted everyone in the front line. Blue gets a 4K. That's an amazing Reaper play. It's just going to be Nexus on the high ground. Yeah, no matter how good your Death Blossom is, it's not going to be the same. It doesn't get out alive, and that's point B taken. 4 minutes on the clock, and they could make a better time here than Kingstore Saints did.
Very interesting. It's almost like they say, go ahead, ult us. We're not really going to need our support ults for it anyway. Obviously using the beat very aggressively there, but it allows them to get the point, and they're pushing in, possibly going to be able to get a better time bank than their opponent. Huge block.
Blocks out the Shatter, so Paragon just gets stifled by their own team. That's a nice Death Blossom to counter it, though. They also use the Graviton, and it looks like this is going to be just a reset from the Volcanic Violets, but that was interesting how that went between Aerosmith and Paragon.
You have to use a Graviton and a Death Blossom just to try to correct the mistake of Paragon going in with the Shatter, but Pacifist, huge wall, huge play, keeps his team from being shattered, but doesn't stop the Grav or the Blossom, so it is the reset. But
There's
huge
a
bomb coming in
Will it get
potentially.
one? Yeah, Snowbird falling, and once again, it's just the Zarya out, the Lucio falling. Yes, you lose Storm Creator, but with that Blizzard, might be okay. Blue Blue just gets the follow-up. Yeah, looks like this is going to be another fight win here for Volcanic Violets, and they're truly erupting right now in power.
Yeah, and it's definitely scary just because you're now approaching this last corner of the map. You threw away to Blizzard, a Coalescence. You're nowhere built on a Graviton because you died early in that fight. If you're the Saints, it's going to have to be a huge Shatter or Bust, but it is huge!
It is definitely huge, and the Blizzard as well, just to put the icing on top here. It's going to be Nexus trying to do something from the back line, but there's not really anyone to shoot at. Actually, there's too many people to shoot at, so it's just going to be the Reaper and the Moira. Yeah, they can both fade and Wraith a little bit away, but not for long enough. It's going to be Will going down, Nexus as well. Nice Shatter from Paragon to come back in. Can he get enough? Gets Raynor, gets Pacifist. It looks like the Reinhardt might have saved it here from the defense. That is something that's sort of not allowed to happen here. Paragon just putting the team on the shoulders, and it carries them to a defense.
Like I was saying, Paragon had to come up big there because otherwise it was just a staggered out fight at the end there. They do come up big, and now for once we do see Kings Row Saints switching into this Orisa Hog composition, keeping in mind that Volcanic has to cap with at least 1 second on the clock if they want a second attack here.
There is another Death Blossom, but Osprey already sniped out of the air by Osprey. It's by Aerosmith, I'm sorry.
Osprey sniped himself. Wild.
Yeah, I mean, gonna have to wait for a little bit. They get Will on the other side, but of course the respawns are much quicker for the defense. They're still going for you a little bit because the Lucio's gonna be back in time here. Gonna walk through the Orisa shield. That's gonna be put up for a little bit. A deep charge from Storm Creator has that barrier to work with. And once again, Blue following up on the distraction that the Reinhardts create. Going on the Snowbird here as well. Gets the third one. It's gonna be Paragon off the map here. And who's really going to be there? It's just Will, and that's not enough. 1 minute on the clock, and they get it before it goes under.
And Storm Creator showing why, while he may not be the flashiest tank, he does his job. He clears space to allow his DPS to work, allowing Blue to pop off where he needs to, coming up clutch. And it's just a matter of now you're facing time bank rounds. Is it intimidating to have only a minute? Yes, but you know you can cap quickly. All you need is that entry pick. And if Paragon keeps this over-aggression going, then it could be a very quick cap as well.
It very well could be, and it's all about that momentum. We've seen it happen on the defense for Volcanic Violets, where they just got completely overwhelmed until they got to the third checkpoint. It even happened to the Kings Row Saints to a degree. Where they also got overwhelmed a lot until they got to the last checkpoint. So when it comes to that, is that all just ult economy, or is there more to it?
I mean, it is ult economy to a degree, but it's also just, like I've been talking about, the main theme of this series so far has just been measured aggression, knowing how far you can put your foot out to intimidate versus putting your foot out and getting absolutely run over by your opponent. I think for the first map, you definitely had Kings Row Saints favored in that aggression war, but now we have Volcanic erupting, as you said, showing that they can be just as aggressive, if not more. So it's going to be interesting to see this attack.
Yeah, coming out of obviously only just over a minute left. Minutes going in now, and that means that they don't really have that many opportunities. One, well, I mean probably two, but one really good push, and the second a little bit more in a hurry because they're not taking this one that quickly. Good wall, but the wall doesn't really... It's a good wall, not a great wall. There's another wall on the other side. Neither team really splitting anyone off. And Paragon already frozen. Goes in a little bit too deep. The bubble does save them. It's actually going to be Blue going down first. Storm Creator under a lot of pressure. Looks like Aerosmith doing a number on this attack already. But Paragon, once it gets stifled a little bit by his own base wall. Storm Creator going in deep and just gets counter-charged there. Looks like this is going to be a good defense so far. And they might have to reset here. Can they get a constellation kill at the end? Doesn't look like it because the Coalescence is going to clean everything up here. And Pacifist is a little too deep. Might get staggered out here. Oh, they do defend. Oh, the Shatter. That is it. That's going to clean up, and no one's going to be able to get to the point now. It's just Storm Creator on the Reinhardt. Can't even charge in that far. Looks like this is going to be a full hold on A.
Yes, indeed. As you saw, like the side of Volcanic, they tried to come in with this aggression, with this Lucio play to speed boost them in, deal some damage. But on the side of Saints, they knew what was coming. They knew that aggression was coming, and they did not give an inch. And so all it takes now is one tick on A, and we'll be up 2-0 in the series in the favor of Saints. But it is very possible to hold full hold. Full holds are free.
Yeah. Full holds are definitely possible, and we're gonna go into this into this one. And one tick is not a lot, but then again, if they're gonna play these same compositions against each other, it could very well be a relatively easy full hold. It does look though we're gonna be seeing something else coming out from the defense here. What is this?
On the defense, we're gonna have a okay. I mean, this is when you know you got to hold the point. You set up with a Bastion, you get a Baptiste. This is what you know is your standard bunker, and then you have a Pharah. You have Pharah, which helps out Mercy because Mercy is there for reses, but also there for Pharah because, well, Pharah always needs that little bit of help in the sky. So possibly Nexus can actually stay on the snipers here. As long as he can hit Pacifist on that Pharah out of the sky and end it quickly, they can still take this map. But this is a very bunker dominant.
They keep swapping around. I really don't know what they're gonna do. Looks like they're gonna stick with this Zarya. They're gonna go around Zarya again, but Nexus is gonna be on the Sombra. That's the one change they're making. Doesn't feel like they have done enough on the Reaper just yet. Actually, never mind. Goes back to spawn, switches back over to that Reaper. So we're gonna have the same composition, but once again, this Bastion Orisa composition on the defense, and then a fire in the air. How are they gonna deal with this?
I mean, it's just on this low ground composition, you essentially, because you know you only need one tick, you want to force yourselves onto point and force them there. You have to try to kill the Bastion rotating, but that's not how you start.
Nexus taken out. Another point is being blocked off. They need to contest this, and Sereniac is actually jumping down with Storm Creator. Pacifist is taken out here. It's always the Immortality field, but the Bastion's on the high ground, uncontested, just shooting down. Keeps getting walled away, but actually got walled up even higher into the air. Sereniac out of the mech. Osprey being taken down by Nexus, who just sneaks up behind them, and Nexus is just going to tear them apart. Looks like this point is not going to be long in the control of the defenders, and Kings Row Saints goes up 2-0 in the series.
When your defensive holds loses its Pharah to a Zarya on the other side first thing, that's when you know it's going south. And unfortunately, just the bunker wasn't good enough. The pressure was just too high from Kings Row on that point. And I mean, like you said, it's home turf for them essentially. For them to lose there would have been almost criminal.
Yeah, and Paragon on their birthday doesn't get gifts, but actually gives us a gift in the form of that beautiful play of the game. Has been showing up on that Reinhardt so far, so hope to see more of that.
Has he been showing up on the Reinhardt, or has his team been pocketing him like a madman? Because that's the storyline I'm looking at more. Snowbraid and his supports are just keeping him alive, letting him do as he wants, and it's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting going into the half to see how this is going.
Yeah, we're gonna go to a short break, everyone. We'll be back in about 5 minutes, so don't go anywhere. I mean, you can go somewhere as long as you're back shortly. So just grab a drink, grab a snack, and we'll be back on the other side with you guys.
Get down. Get down. Get down. The bass and sound. Get down. The bass and sound. Get down. The bass and sound. Get down. The bass and sound.
He has all.
Reaper. What? What's going on? Where's Whale?
I'm trying to look for
there he is.
boots.
Whale's hacked. Success. Well,
Nice.
Whatever.
Kill Zarya. Don't allow it.
Zarya.
It's just Zarya, boys.
Welcome back, everyone. It's been halftime between this wonderful match between the Kings Road Saints and the Volcanic Violets. It's a 2-0 right now, but it could all turn around. I'm Men of Class, and once again joined by Megalad. And what are we going to see?
What are we seeing going into the third half? Well, we are going to see our assault map get played here. It is probably going to be Hanamura, I believe, unless I'm mistaken. And what I want to see is Volcanic Violets amp up that aggression and possibly stop trying to mirror Kings Row Saints' style. You know, they haven't had a whole lot of success with that. Maybe if they go their own route with things they've practiced and they believe in, they might be able to pick up some wins. You know, they were playing the Orisa early on, and Hanamura can favor the Orisa, especially in this lovely 2-2-2 world we are in.
It looks like they're doing okay on more fluid sections of the maps. So it could be that Assault might not exactly be their cup of tea. But on the other hand, like you said, if you set up with a proper Orisa defense, could be very hard to break here for the Kings Row Saints. And they're starting on defense. So they do have that opportunity to set the pace of this map. Now, before we go in, we've obviously been talking a little bit about, everything's changing now, the 2-2-2, etc., and then the DPS are being played. Um, how exactly does it impact? I mean, the 2-2-2 obviously impacts the way you play the heroes, but are there like certain things you can and cannot do anymore now?
Well, yeah, I mean, especially with the balance patches that came through with that, as we saw towards the end of the Goats meta, Sombra was gaining a lot of usage just because you would run Sombra Goats where you could run huge EMP plays and things like that. But with the nerfs to Sombra, you haven't seen her a whole lot, even though she could still be useful in certain scenarios with the hacks and things like that. And just overall, the hero balance changes have made it into a very interesting place, to say the least. I mean, it's just you can pretty much pull out almost anything, and as long as you have the mechanics for it, you can win with it.
Yeah, and I always like using the word interesting in these scenarios because it feels like you don't really have an opinion of it, but the main opinion you have of it is not necessarily the most positive one. And if it's always in a gray area, I like to use the word interesting. It's a fun one. I think most people would in that scenario. It's when you eat a new food, and the new food is like you don't really want to call it disgusting because it's not, but you also wouldn't probably eat it again, and that's when you call it interesting. And I think that's really what's happening to the meta right now where there isn't really a meta and that feels nice, but it feels weird, like it shouldn't be there. So it's interesting. And I think that's a very nice way of
Speaking
putting
of
it.
that nice word, interesting, we have a bunker composition on the defense here from the Volcanic Violets, but with a Symmetra. accompanying the Bastion. So
Oh, yeah.
possibly some mobile bunker. I know it's a weird
Mm.
thing to think about, but Symmetra can just TP him around, especially with her new teleporter. Not being able to. Only way it goes away is if you destroy it as the attacker. And, you know, as I say, on the attack here, we do have a Sombra in play. We have a very hard dive by the look of it going in from the
Yeah,
side of
I mean, they do have the teleporter, but they're not. They seem to be want to use it to maybe respawn. It might be able to be used for a recontest. Setting up straight on the point, not on the high ground, just with that Bastion pumping in the damage. And with its dive coming in, they're gonna have a lot of trouble sustaining this damage. It's not goats. Nexus already hooked in, taken out. And what are you gonna do now? No Sombra, only one flanker, and not that. Well, I mean, not that sustainable of a tank line. Hmm.
it.
They found the teleporter and they're choosing not to destroy it though. Like
Yeah,
I think they found it. I don't know if they've seen it actually.
Yeah, it looks like they definitely set up the teleporter as the dive comes in here. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. They're going in. They threw out the immortality field, but it was already gone by the time Blue died. They are not able to get the res. Oh, they are! The flash didn't come out in time, or the stun, or whatever it was, really. Nexus, everyone's really fallen, though, for the attackers. They got the kill on the Osprey, but with that teleporter online, that's not going to be a problem. Osprey's going to be back in no time.
Yeah, the teleporter online, or it's just a mercy. You know, you can get back super quick anyway. And it's just going to come down to an EMP or a very large anti from Whale to shut this down but either way, immortality might help them sustain. So it's going to come down to if Raynor can position himself in a way to not get hit by either and keep his team alive with that immortality field.
Oh, Nexus spotting out. The supports are quite alone, but doesn't really get a kill or much damage on either of them. So it's going to be a safe comeback here from Osprey. The dive is trying to go through the high ground on this attacker's right side here, over the bridge, over the gantry, really. And they're not returning the teleporter, so it cannot be used. They have to just wait, let it be there, because the cooldown won't start until it is destroyed. They do get it out now, so the teleporter is going to be on cooldown for a little bit. They have to go quick, otherwise it will be back up. Next is going around the side, has the EMP ready now, but had to translocate out, otherwise that would have been their lives forfeit. Aerosmith almost ready with that blade. They're going to have a nano blade up pretty soon. But the Symmetra wall could do a lot to stop that if they get it out. But it's going to be a 6-man. Everyone hacked. No one able to do anything. Blue gets the kill on Nexus. But that's probably the only thing they're going to get. Because this team fight looks to be over within a flash.
Yes, indeed. If you want to try to look on the upside, if you're Volcanic, which you obviously have to in situations like that, that's 3 ultimates. Huge impact ultimates used there. Obviously, on the side of Saints, they're still coming in with tank ultimates, and you yourself, though, if you're Volcanic, did not use a single ultimate, so you can get a very nice hold going here.
You couldn't use anything because you were hacked up. So they have 6 ultimates almost coming up. Sereniac, the only one a little bit off there, but they're ready. They're on the high ground. These supports are Symmetra, and the supports dropping down. Storm Reactor already down, but the Bastion ult is out. Can he get some kills with that? Doesn't look like it. It's going to be Nexus going down to Raynor, and the rest coming in on the Storm Creator, but they keep losing members and not really trading anything out here. It is just them. The Bastion's on the point, though. Finally, they're starting to get some feedback, getting some kills in. No percentage gains from the attackers, and the defenders do hold, but that was a little bit of a sloppy fight.
It was a sloppy fight pretty much on both sides. You know, ults just kind of got thrown in because they could. And now you see on the side of Volcanic, they're switching off of this Bastion. But it's interesting. I mean, I was going to say interesting we keep Symmetra, but Kings Row Saints switches off that Winston. So Symmetra is free farm now, as the kids like to say, as we have Paragon and Snowbrit back on that classic Rhine Zarya.
It's going to be good to charge that beam off that Reinhardt shield, but with that Junkrat, that is also pretty unusual pick in a lot of situations. They can use free fire from the high ground, that is true. First stick almost given over, but they do touch the point just in time. It's going to be Sereniac and Storm Creator jumping down there. Paragon tries to charge, but gets halted by the Fortify, and now it's going to be Sereniac throwing in the whole hog. Gets the kill on the Paragon. Will and Nexus also down. Not a lot of healing left, and the res does come in on Sereniac once again. Aerosmith, you're not going to be gonna want to be around there on that Genji. Tries to dash away, and they do make it out alive, but they're going to be halted here. Sereniac knows they're going to be in that center. Not getting any value from that hog there to get them back in, though.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about when I want to see Volcanic play their own style. Clearly, they practice a lot of Orisa coming into this. You can see with their eagerness to try to play it, even in those not the most opportune places. And finally, they're getting to make it shine, show why it works for them. And all it took was a little bit of Symmetra to make it happen.
Nexus ready with an EMP behind the tanks here, but most of the team actually on the side of the Volcanic Violets not really ready for that one. I mean, they're ready for the EMP because they're not really together, all of them. That was Aerosmith already taking down Storm Crater, though. They really didn't need that to fall. The res also gets canceled out because the Osprey fell too far down. Paragon trying to charge in gets hooked by Sereniac. Sereniac falling behind that amplification matrix, and it's just going to be Mushi and Osprey on the point. The damage is there for Symmetra, and she gets the kill on Snowbrid. Paragon has also fallen. The tanks are down, and who's really going to sustain this point capture? No one is. That's the answer. So King's Road Saints is going to have to go in again, but they are getting the ultimates ready now.
Crucially, Blue kills Nexus at the start of that fight, not allowing the EMP to go off. Obviously, EMP still online, and there's 4 ultimates up. Huge impact ultimates to add to that if you're the King's Row Saints. But as you see with this teleporter, we have Raynor on the Baptiste, positioned on the other high ground, possibly can chuck himself through at the last second, avoiding the EMP and still getting an immortality field onto his team.
Teleporter actually removed now, so they cannot even get there, even if they wanted to. So who are you going to EMP as Nexus? That's the main question. They do get the charge in Sereniac, but Sereniac has a lot of sustain, a lot of health, will finally fall to the hands of Snowbrid. And there's the EMP, there's the Shatter, and all the follow-up is going to be there. No one's going to be safe from that one. Looks like this could be a really easy cap. Blue does get 2 kills in the end there, and is still alive on this Junkrat. They still haven't given over a tick. Blue gets another kill on the Aerosmith. Blue might be pulling this one back. The Diva touches even before the first tick is given over, and which just supports the Nexus there. Who's really going to get the sustain out and the power out to actually push the defenders off the point? 20 seconds on the clock. I don't think they're going to get anything here. They might not even get the first tick.
It's definitely interesting, but the stall picks are out.
Oh, they are out, but they're stalling on the attack, and as the attack, you need the kills. The Graviton is finally there, but who you're going to kill? It's just the Genji and a Zarya there. They do get 2 kills out of that, but there's still 4 members left. As a solo Genji, you're not going to be able to get anything done against that. It's going to be a full hold on point B from the Volcanic Violets, and that's a very nice start to this map for them.
Blue, absolutely insane, clutches that up, buys enough time for his team to get back in stall, plus getting half the team killed just on his own, which allowed his team to get that full hold on B. So now, if you're Volcanic Violets, it's not all hope is lost yet. All you got to do is cap A and get 1/3 of B, and you're moving on to map 4 with a chance to reverse sweep.
Map 4, it's map 4 is going to be played regardless, but if you're going to get in there and actually have a chance to win the series, it's always going to be a more exciting map to play. Right now, though, they have to get that first point, a little bit of the 3rd point anyways. Of course, they cannot have enough with a draw. They do actually need to win out this map, otherwise the series will have been won by the King's Row Saints regardless. But they're going to set up with the May Reaper and Reynor Orisa again. And we've seen that Volcanic Violets definitely can, even if they just mirror, they can get through that and at least win the first point. That is all a question about the second one.
But the thing is, they're not opting for the mirror. We finally see Slushy popping off for the first time in this match, and it's on this Symmetra, who, as we were talking about in the pre-show, which y'all did not see, but they did buff the beam. That way the tick rate is a bit better on it, so absolutely insane damage coming out, and plus the TP, just huge utility that can be played all in one hero, and it's finally playing into the Violet's advantage.
Yeah, and Smushy and Blue is obviously DPS DO that we also haven't seen yet and highlighted that. Pacifist was in there earlier on. Blue might be on the May this time around, but can they teleport in? That's the main question. Can they teleport in safely without anything happening? It looks like they want to teleport up to the far high ground here. That was such a smart play. They used
that was an insane play.
Oh, that was a main, and now they're just on the point. They are walled off though, so Storm Creator is already down. But that play, that was just amazing. And the teleporter is still there. If they want to delete that, they have to be really quick. Otherwise, the spawns will just be there, and they can just teleport up to the high ground consistently.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that you lose that fight, but clearly you can see...
Oh, they found it. They found it.
Yeah,
they found it. It's okay.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. I mean, they knew it was there, but good play.
But set plays like that show you that this team right here, Violet, has been scrimming, practicing, and they have niche strategies that they can pull off. And it has, so far, had King's Row on the back foot. They just they aren't expecting a Symmetra. It's not part of their game plan.
Yeah, now they're gonna teleport into the right room, I think. At least they're looking up for that. Blue already teleporting up to the high ground, just dropping on the enemy team. And they're allowed to just teleport to point. But there's a shatter from Paragon. Only gets a Storm Creator, and Storm Creator bubbled afterwards as well. Will still go down as that Reinhardt, but they are cemented on the point. Both Reinhardt's down, and now it's all going to be up to the DPS to get everything done. Blue takes down Nexus, and with Will also gone, that's most of the healing. It will look like this is the way that is going to take point A.
Yep, and there it goes. Obviously, if you're Kings, you're not sweating it too much. You lose point A, you have a bit of an ult economy built up. You're going to have 3 ults coming online, 4 if you count the Blossom coming up soon enough. And it's just going to have to be a few eco pushes here from Violets. But now, the hard part's out of the way. Now the harder part stands before them. 1 tick on B, and they can take this map for free.
Coming up in here with that Symmetra wall, that could be pivotal already. Melee comes out, they have a free entry without any range damage, doing any damage. There are some turrets on the point getting Seinfeld really low, but that sound barrier comes on in time. With Storm Creator already being down, this is going to be a rough fight for them to win, but they're still going to try. They do have some members here, but with that wall, I think they're just going to be cleaned up here. Some nice swings, some nice sprays, and Sereniac and Osprey, they'll go down too.
I think if you're the side of Volcanic, you need to reset a little bit cleaner. Instead of feeding over to the enemy team, there is a lovely little cliff that you could take a nice scenic dive off of. Stops you from feeding ult charge over to the enemy, but you do still have 4 minutes. If you can burn some ults from the side of Saints, then you're looking pretty good to win this map overall, as you're getting ults online yourself.
Smushi going over to the McCree now. I don't exactly know why, but it's interesting. The Symmetra might just not have been working anymore for them on attack. And you can respect them for it. They make the switch now instead of after 3 minutes when gonna have trouble to build up the ultimates. They're ready to go into the top right here, but there's gonna be a Mayo overseas to be ready with those walls. Nice grab, and there's the Blizzard. They use 3 ultimates, even the Death Blossom. So that's a lot there out of him. They did use a Shatter and a Sound Barrier on the attack, but it was still a nice hold from the defense.
And now you have the Coalescences matching up, but you do have a slight ult advantage because you have both Grab and Blossom if you're on the side of Violet. And Violet now switches over to this McCree pick, which is interesting to say the least. I don't understand the full utility of what it's supposed to get, possibly just range damage while the rest of your team's down on point. But, I mean, we got to see how this attack goes as they head up back up top again.
Yeah, and it's like you said, it's not a pick we see often, so that makes it a little bit strange even to us, watch all the Overwatch. But Aerosmith being charged out already, Paragon going low, Snowbird going low. Looks like this is not even. It doesn't even matter if you have a McCree or not. You just walk in there, get everything, and the kitchen sink at them, and they don't even need the ultimates most of the time. That's just going to be point B. Or at least the first stick, and that's all they needed. So Volcanic Violets pulls it back to a 2-1, and map 4 is going to matter this series, guys.
It's going to matter. As soon as I ask what the McCree's there for, immediately Shmushy gets a pick onto the opposing Reaper and just does what he must. And it's really interesting to see that McCree pick there. But as you see, like I said, Volcanic Violets clearly has some niche picks, some setup plays that they know that they can run. And it could potentially pull out a win here and get them closer and closer to that reverse sweep.
Sweep. I can already see the Twitch chat going. I'm looking forward to this last one because escort maps, depending on which ones they are, can be so momentum heavy and then get turned around. And that's something we saw happening on Kings Row as well. It was very close there, but this time you won't have a first points to full hold. It's just going to be, you're just going to have to try and pull it to the end. And with the choice between Dorado and Gibraltar, that could be a close one.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Obviously, though, if you're Kings,
Yeah, what you go for?
If you're Kings right here, you have the choice between Dorado or Watchpoint Gibraltar. You really haven't opted into anything outside of Ryan Zarya so far, so you don't want to opt into Gibraltar simply because Winston play runs amok there a whole lot, and we haven't really seen anybody in the series pick Winston. So I don't know. Yeah, and it does look like
they teased it for a little bit, but then they just swapped off it. It was the Kings Row Saints though. They started on Lijiang Tower Gardens with the Winston Diva. Actually, that didn't go very well for them. So swapped off it, but they did try it for a little bit. So it could very well be that's why they would have gone to Gibraltar. But like you said, going to the Dorado, um, yeah, why would Dorado work so well for them? What can they do there that's just fitting their playstyle currently?
Well, like I was saying, Kings Row Saints, they seem phenomenal at this Ryan Zarya and May Reaper, but it's not really because the composition works all too well together. Sure, there's some synergy with the ultimates. It's more of just the mechanical skill of the team itself and the players on the team. And I don't know, it's definitely interesting that they're forced on this composition. Volcanic Violet seems like they've poked some holes in the defense. They've found some flaws that they can get through. But if the birthday boy Paragon wants a win on his birthday, he's going to have to come up big, I think. I think he's the player to watch.
And that's it's kind of the moral of the story, right? And currently, I will say, from what I've seen, both Paragon and Storm Creator are falling in these fights and often together, not necessarily one or the other. So they're both playing to the same aggression, and both teams are now sort of adapting to punishing the other Reinhardt, but not as much keeping their own Reinhardt alive. I don't really know what's happening there, but the main tanks are trading out relatively evenly, which was a little bit different on the earlier maps where Storm Creator was drawing the shorter end of the stick most of the time.
Yeah, definitely. And it's going to be weird to see where what compositions these guys want to run on. And obviously, you're going to be able to tell the defenders, Violet's comp a lot quicker just because they have to stick on it and get out of spawn to get a defender's hold. And it looks like they're going back to the Orisa Hog. Like, they know what they want to run, and we're seeing the Hanzo Ash again. It hasn't worked for them yet, but maybe Dorado's the map for them.
Maybe it is. They look like they've prepared a little bit of a different thing. And Hanzo, especially if you want to spam a choke, Hanzo and Ash could be very powerful, to say the least. This double sniper on the attack, I don't know if they're gonna run out with it, but it's definitely something we've seen a lot in Dorado.
Yeah, but obviously we have to wait for the spawn doors to open to truly see what we're looking at. But I think this is the final composition. We have double sniper, Aerosmith, Nexus is going to be taking on Slushy Blue. It's pretty much sniper war, except one side doesn't have a Widow, so I don't know, it's pretty risky if you're blue in this situation to run the Ash.
And you needed 3 maps to smith up those arrows to use the Hanzo and just keep shooting, but they finally did it. Aerosmith takes the first kill on the Smooshy with them as well. Storm Creator just gets overrun once again by Snowbird and Paragon. It looks like this defense, while it was a valiant effort, it wasn't an effort that really bore any fruit.
Well, yeah, but I mean, once again, this comes down to just the natural aggression of the match. And we are calling for a pause on the side of Kings, so interesting to see so far. Like we said, that first cap, very aggressive plays from Paragon, that whole team doing what they must. But on the side of Violet's, first point isn't even lost yet. Nobody was moving the payload. If you can get a quick defensive hold in, possibly a quick pick from your Hanzo or your Ash even, it's still a very defendable point.
It's always a defendable point. I mean, it's defendable until they capture the point. So, unless like right now, all of a sudden the card bursts forward, they can come back, and I think they're gonna at least try that. What they're gonna come back with though, that's the main question. Because right now we still have the same composition up, and we're just make sure that that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna have any impact, obviously. Um, can they get the value out of this Hanzo Ash though? That's the main question.
Yeah, it's just gonna be come down to can Slushy is gonna have a lot harder of a fight just because Blue is on the Ash instead of Widow. So Nexus pretty much gets free reign, but as I say that, Slushy and Blue switch off, so now they're fully mirroring and Smushy immediate first pick.
Peter first pick finally gets the value out of that Widowmaker, which we were waiting for. They're able to contest the point in time. Sereniac under a lot of pressure. Another shadow from Paragon, and the follow-up arrow gets Raynor. Seinfeld goes down, and Aerosmith does as well, though, so they're still trading out this fight. And it looks like Paragon and Snowbird might be able to pull it back fully for their team. But meanwhile, Smooshy is raining down fire. The healing is there for Will, so it doesn't really matter. And it looks like this is going to be a first point capture for Kings Row Saints pretty soon.
Yeah, Smushy and Sirnik just trying to see if they could come up clutch with a whole hog and just some phenomenal snipes, but that's not the case. But plus side, you're finally getting ults online. If you're Violet, you're on the right composition now to mirror. It's just a matter of getting those picks and winning those sniper duels. And that's unfortunately what this game's going to have to boil down to. It's all on the snipers. Who's picking who first? Positioning is key, and possibly even Snowbrick getting some clutch bubbles to save his snipers when they could get one shot.
Yeah, Osprey and Rain are ready with the support ultimates, but they're not gonna save anyone from one shots with those. So looks like they're gonna have to still be a little bit careful. There's a nice grab. Storm Creator not grabbed up, but still with the team. Push your shield down. Sereniac out of mech, but Snowbird has fallen, and a life is more important than a mech. Storm Creator, Sereniac all on the ground with. Yeah, I mean, Paragon does fall up and just keeps swinging that hammer. Will doing the best to support that aggressive Reinhardt, and will be able to do so, but not with Blue shooting an arrow in the back. Smooshy and Blue are both on the high ground where snipers like to be, and they are getting a lot of value right now. Both infra sites are out, but with no tanks, they're going to have to wait for a little bit until they make their proper moves.
Yeah, unfortunately, we do see Cyrnix switching off the Roadhog onto the Diva, which helps contest snipers a bit better, helps you gain control of the high ground, and it just is this huge sniper duel between the two teams. If somebody gets a pick, it's already over in the other team's favor.
And they're gonna go aggressive once again. Paragon just doesn't know what the SE is. Just presses that W, presses that M1. Nice shatter once again. Storm Creator and Rainer will probably fall from that one. No, Storm Creator actually lives. Put out another shield. The rest comes in under Rainer, and that shatter basically negated all the effects from that one. They do lose the mech on Sereniac, and the aggression does keep continuing, but they keep losing members on the side of King's Row Saints, and they cannot even finish that fight. Smooshy on a tear here, guys.
He's on a tear, finally popping off. And as you see, the immediate switch from King's Row Saints, because they realize they're losing this sniper duel, so they go into a hard dive composition with a Winston, Diva, Genji, and Tracer. Possibly, you know, you can get a hard dive onto one of the snipers, but Orisa could prevent things with a hold. If you try to dive the Orisa itself, it becomes a problem, and plays like this on the card aren't risky.
Smooshy goes over to the McCree to maybe stun out someone that dives in here. Paragon doesn't really jump on anyone. Just goes for the high ground and misses at every target that they could possibly get. Sereniac out of mech once again. Has not really spent much time in it. Blue gets the kill on the Seinfeld though, and that's quite a bit of healing gone for that dive. They still have the Ana, but is that going to be enough with even Snowbird and Nexus already falling here? They get the kill on Osprey, but that's a little bit of a consolation kill. Sereniac, you're baby diva. Come on. That's not what you need. Only Aerosmith gets out alive. Will is still there, but just jumps off the map.
Clearly, Whale was the only sniper on the side of King's Row that could deal with Blue, if you think about it, with that little melee kill at the end. But Defender's advantage, obviously, with the payload being this far up. So it's going to come down to, can King's Row set up a play? You do have Nexus flanking in the back, possibly trying to build up to a pulse bomb or just pick a support with a one clip. But McCree doesn't really let you do that at all.
They definitely caught out the Nexus was there, so they zoned out the Tracer a little bit. And now they're going to have to try it somewhere else. They do have the high ground control because there's no snipers up there, but Blue is switched over to the Reaper now. So that Winston does not want to get in here. The Diva is going to have a very hard time. They do get the kill on the Osprey straight away, so that Mercy is out of it. And that's a lot of healing gone for you as the defenders. They get the kill on the Smooshy. They get another self-destruct as a counter, and that actually gets the D-Mech here on the Snowbrit. But without anyone else there, it looks like they're going to have a hard time defending here with your DPS gone. They do get Nexus, but Rainer, you need it to be alive, because without any healing, I don't think these tanks are going to be long for this world.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, we do have the last second contest from the Diva, possibly, and now Osprey coming back in.
They're still there. They don't have any ultimates, though. Like, if you have the Sound Barrier, that you might be able to pull that out, but just the Reaper, I don't think it's going to be able to do enough. Even against that Winston, there's just too much else there that can also damage you. And right now, it looks like Blue is doing a lot of damage, but with that Sleep Guard, it's really going to be the Sleep Guard in the coffin, really. They keep coming, though. They keep just draining down the clock a little bit, so that's at least nice.
Drain down that clock. That fight pretty much, while it was elongated, any portion of that fight was won. Whale was landing huge anti-nades, waiting for Orisa's barrier to go down from Storm and getting it in where it mattered most. So even though there is tremendous healing effort coming from the side of Violet, it's just a matter of you can't heal when you're antied. There's just nothing you can do.
Yeah, Sereniac needs to spend a little bit more time in the mech to eat those, maybe. That might be something that could be helpful. But right now, they're backing up quite a little bit. They will be ready with that shield, and they don't even get close to being hit by the self-destructor because they were backed up so much. Blue going aggressive with that Reaper once again, gonna do a lot of damage with Sereniac. Once again, getting so low, almost out of the mech. Smooshy gets the kill on the Aerosmith with the high noon. Nicely done there. It's gonna be Storm Creator just holding the front line. No one will get past, and just Blue on the high ground, controlling all the space they need.
Yeah, finally Violet getting back in the driver's seat, if you will. But there's only a minute left on the clock if you're King's Row. You do have
Yep.
some ultimates online, but Paragon switching back to his Reinhardt possibly, and Snowbird switching back to the Zarya. Clearly more comfortable in these heroes, thinking that they have an even matchup, but in shots like
Oh,
that make it harder.
Nexus already down. They do have the Nano Blade that could just turn everything around, but they're not gonna. They're still gonna be a member down to start it off with. There's the blade. That's the Nano Blade. Will the value be there? It doesn't look like it. Only gets Smooshy. There's Osprey as well. That's 2 kills, 3 kills with the Nano Blade. That's what you needed from your Genji. Aerosmith finally letting that one pay off. Blue tries, but will not be able to be long for this world. And with 20 odd seconds left. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. They had it basically. So yeah, 20 seconds left on the clock. 22 actually. They complete Dorado, and that was a. I mean, they did well holding it for a bit on Violet, but I feel that.
I feel like they found their
footing against the Nano Blade.
Yeah, Nano Blade. That's one of those ultimates that, unless you have an Ana yourself that can sleep dart, you can't really shut it down a whole bunch. And Whale, which is coming up huge with antis, and on top of that, just at the end there, Cyrenek, however you'd like to say it, if he could have just told us, could have touched the payload. That's why I was questioning the beat used from Seinfeld, but it works out for King's Row in the end, and they do cap Dorado all 3 points.
You really need to stall or do anything to that Genji so they can just dash around and keep slicing everything. As soon as you get those cooldowns out and they're not refreshed by a kill, then Genji's Nano Blade is not that scary. You just slightly walk away from the Genji and you'll be fine. But couldn't get that done, so the Genji got a 4K and that just claimed that last fight. Before that though, so pretty good efforts coming in from the Volcanic Violets. And it's only 22 seconds on the clock. Even if they completed an overtime, that's not that big of a time bank difference. The main difference is going to be made in these early stages. So where does the payload get stopped first by either team? And for Volcanic Violets, it didn't really get stopped until it basically got to the second checkpoint. So that's quite a long way without a proper defense. And can they get the same momentum on their attacks?
It's definitely going to be interesting to see these compositions. We have the May Reaper on the side of our attackers, being the Violets, of course. But it's interesting to run the Orisa still. Storm Creator must just be feeling passionate about it. Paragon finally marrying. Alrighty, words.
Yeah.
Marrying. There we go. Marrying the Orisa, and looks like the fight is getting underway already.
Yeah, they're just poking away right now because that's what these comms do. But Nexus going so low just falls to an icicle to the head of Smooshy. And get Reaper being gone is quite a big deal. Immortality Field also used to no avail, so it just gets taken out. Paragon, very low, will probably fall pretty soon. But actually, it's going to be Osprey getting hooked in. Sereniac out of the mech. And they're chasing them though. The Reaper and the May in their face, and those DPS do so much work. Nexus coming from the high ground is now back into the fight. Can they get a trade kill here? Will actually popping up on that Zenyatta, gets taken out. It's just Nexus there, but Nexus can do a lot of work, especially with Aerosmith next to them. The May and the Reaper together, both almost frozen up, but it's going to be only Arrow, and there's Paragon back on the Reinhardt. Will he be able to do the same miracle work that has been happening in the last maps? I don't think so. Not with the rest of your team there, buddy. So just get pushed away. Payload gets to first point.
Caps the first point. Very interesting from the side of Kings Row. They try this composition they haven't tried all night. Clearly not comfortable, and it switches off. But Paragon just switched to the Reinhardt. Is already 65 to his Shatter. This man can build them so quickly. He can just so aggressive in your face. And this might be the composition, though, to shut it down with this May Reaper of your own with the Orisa.
Yeah, right now they're just pushing up very far. Just not as far as the Reiner maybe could, because they need to still have that shield up. But They're pushing up far enough where the momentum is still going to carry on. Nexus is going to be on the high ground, not that close to the Death Blossom, but both Blizzards are there. And with that Shatter, that could be a huge combo if Storm Creator doesn't have to shield up in time. They're going in heavy now, probably ready for that Shatter that we're talking about. Paragon going hard, going deep. There's the Shatter. Doesn't get Storm Creator, but gets everyone else. And it's really all you need. The Blizzard comes out on the other side, so Blue's trying to do some work in the back line. And together with Smooshy, they do get 3 kills. Can they pull more back though? No, Death Blossom only gets Aerosmith, but that's still quite a few members down from the defense that they're not going to be there if they have a quick attack here.
Interesting for Blue to use the Blossom there, even though he is sticking on the Reaper, so kind of a wasted opportunity, but you still have 4 ultimates up if you're Violet, so it's not that big a deal. Just a matter of, can Sir come up clutch with his bomb?
Yeah, get Snowbrid, and Snowbrid had the Graviton ready. That was definitely something you would want to have for that fight. Nexus has to back off because Blue is being the more dominant Reaper right now. Will falls as well. That's almost all your healing gone because Seinfeld doesn't have the barrier yet. And with only that bomb, they just open everything up for this checkpoint to be captured.
Huge bomb. I was going to say Cernic could come up clutch and eat the Graviton or the Blizzard, and instead just
Could still happen.
It could still happen, definitely, but he just decides, nah, I'll just go get a kill. Opening pick. Why not? That's what divas do these days.
Yeah, interesting to see as well that Snowbird went down to that. Usually Zarya will have the bubble ready, but there's already a nice supercharger. Good positioning, and that gets Will with that. The nice Graviton to follow it up from Snowbird, but goes down themselves. Aerosmith trying to get the D-Mech on Sereniac, but that's just not going to happen with that barrier coming out from Osprey. Blue just chases down Paragon, gets Aerosmith as well, and just Nexus, you can Wraith Form away, but I think the Diva will still get you in the end. Oh no, just heals back up. Sereniac might have actually gone a little bit too deep with that one. Will the Baby Diva also go down? Yes, no, so close. It's gonna be Nexus teleporting behind them, going for the Death Blossom, gets 1 kill. Smooshy falls as well, and that's all the momentum gone there for the side of the Volcanic Violets, but still 4 minutes to go, so they have some time to work with.
They have some time to work with. Nexus obviously cleaning up the fight right here. But Nexus had to come up clutch there because you chucked in both Blizzard and Graviton onto a team, and they were able to outlive it. Thanks to Rainer's Coalescence, of course, but still, that's just a terrifying prospect to chuck in both of those ultimates and not be able to get any value for it. But on the side of the Violets, you do have your Blossom, you have your Blizzard, you have another bomb, which Siren's been pretty good so far. I think Snow's pretty much been the only pick coming in from these bombs, which is really interesting.
The Blizzard is already out, and I think quite a few people are going to get frozen by that. It's crucially the DPS. All the side of Kings were saying Paragon is already down because couldn't get supported by the backline. They were just too busy dealing with the DPS. There's the Blossom, gets booped up to the air. Doesn't really get that much value out of it, and actually dies using that one because the boop was just so good. Smooshy also down. Where are the DPS right now for the Volcanic Violets? They do get Aerosmith, but they need to get a little bit more, especially Nexus doing all the damage in the backline would just set it up for Will to finish it off. And another attack stifled here.
Another attack stifled. You still have about 2 minutes, 30 seconds after it's all winded down, ready to go. But, you know, you're starting to worry. You know, ultimate economy from Kings Row has been strong. They've been rotating their ultimates fairly well. It's going to come down to if they can just come up clutch with some picks on the side of Violets in order to finish out this map.
Sereniac Storm Creator, they're ready again. Could that self-destruct be of a similar value as it was before? Snowbird and Aerosmith once again ready with that Blizzard. I have a hard head in it, just seeing that they can get the same value. The Blizzard's already out. They do get this freeze here only on the Sereniac and potentially Smooshy, but you were on the ice block. No one dies once again to that Blizzard. The Graviton also already used. There's going to be Rainer getting the first kill in the Seinfeld. The Celtic Turk goes in, gets nothing, but it doesn't really need to. And then on the other side, Nexus just says, you know what, I'll do it again. I'll get back those kills once again after the Blizzard and the Graviton fail. Nexus popping off so hard right now.
Nexus is the only reason that Kings Row is still on this first round of Dorado for both teams. Just absolutely, when there's 2 picks down already, he has this insane clutch factor where he's getting kills that he just shouldn't be allowed to get. I mean, a Blossom certainly helps, but it's just insane to see how well he's doing tonight.
You know what we say to that? We say he can't keep getting away with it. it, and then he does anyways. But right now, they're on point. They're just backing up. They don't want to lose this one, and they're still on the brink of doing so, especially with that Blizzard ready from Smooshy. Goes in deep, boost to the wall. No one can run away from this one, you would think. It's going to be the charge from Paragon out. They do get the freeze on Snowbrit, but Nexus is still alive. Nexus is doing a lot of work, and just the backline is falling here as well. It's already Rainer down. Nexus is finally frozen up and taken out, so the clutch guy is out. But with that Moira being gone, that might have been all they needed. Paragon does fall. There goes Seinfeld as well. Nice wall, and Blue just cleaning up the kills here on that Reaper. Goes in deep into the enemy spawn. But with just the Moira and the Zarya without ults, they're not going to be able to hold on. It's going to be the point, the map completion, and very close time banks as well.
But, I mean, if you're Kings, you take that. I mean, they were rolling into third point here with, I believe it was at least 4:30 on the clock, possibly more.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
that type of defensive hold, Nexus,
really good one.
I would definitely go see a chiropractor after this match, buddy. You've 100% earned it, but now it comes down to these overtime rounds. See how far you can get the payload, and Kings has to go first with the less time bank, only by 11 seconds, though.
Yeah, and then, like I said, we're gonna look at who was held first on their defense, like who won the first fight on their defense, and where did they win it? And if memory serves me correctly, I believe that Kings Row had to really clutch it out on third, whereas the Volcanic Violets were already able to stop the payload before it reached second. So maybe
Yeah, but the question
I'm
is,
remembering
can
that
they
wrong.
repeat it?
I'm remembering that wrong because Kings Row also stopped it on second at least once, so it could still be very close here.
It's just a matter of, can you repeat the performance you had last time, or
Yeah,
even better,
definitely.
if you can get a huge first point, hold possibly even on this first main street, as we have the Violets
doing
just
it.
crouching up. They're crouching
They're
in.
doing the red room.
They're
They're doing the red room holds, where you just say, you know what, we're gonna stand here, and you're gonna have to get past us, and we're just gonna stop the payload from progressing. It's amazing. The wall's already out, but Paragon just falls, and this is going to be an aggressive hold that is really working out so far. Nex is trying to do everything they can, but this time there's not only half a team looking at you, it is going to be 6 members. The turrets are online on the gate. They're going to teleport backwards. They're not going to do the same hold, but they're going to be ready for another aggressive defense.
The red room works once. After that, your enemy knows it, so it's going to be interesting to see what they attempt to do here.
Nexus over to the Pharah. Does already try to get a few rockets in, but doesn't really do anything with it. Osprey, though, has been so picked up early so many times, and once again it happens. Rainer is still there on the Moira, so they have quite a little bit of healing, but they are backing off rapidly now. It's so many rockets raining down from above. Rainer is still very low, needs to get some healing back from that Siphon, and Paragon walled off. Will Paragon go down? It doesn't look like it. Yes, finally they will. Already a Symmetra ultimate out. Such nice work done from Mushi, but Storm Creator going very low. Blue already down. Can they pull this one back? They need to get a little more kills. They get Aerosmith. Nexus beamed out of the sky. Seinfeld going awfully low, but just gets healed back up by that Coalescence of Whale. And now they're under the gate. They're really under pressure. They need to get some more here. But this shatter from Storm Creator is huge. Paragon down again. Has not been able to play the game whatsoever. Snowbird falling, and who's gonna keep going to get the payload going? It's gonna be no one. And the payload stops under the gate. Good defense from the Violets.
Huge defense, 53.63 meters under bridge, 53.63. That's what the Violets need if they want to send us to that map 5. And nothing would feel more glorious than after that unfortunate round of Lijiang where you didn't know the aggression that was coming your way to get that reverse sweep. And it's definitely doable. It's not even like out of the realm of possibility. It's just bridge on Dorado.
Yeah, it's not that far, but then again, it's such a good position to hold in, and we saw the aggressive hold coming out from the Volcanic Violets. I have a feeling we're going to see a very similar tactic from the other side, but who knows? Perhaps they're not going to be doing that, and they feel confident they can hold a little further back. Right now, though, the only thing I know for sure is they're coming out with the exact same composition they just attacked against.
It's just a matter of will Violets expect this, and it's interesting that they still choose to run the Orisa because regardless of what you think is on the other side, you can pretty much guarantee Paragon's gonna be on that Reinhardt. It's just he's been so much better on that compared to any of the main tanks we've seen tonight. This is gonna be close, and this is gonna be tight.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, it's most interesting they're going to try to do the exact same thing. They're holding on the other side, though. They're not going to into red room. And let's not forget, Storm Creator can just run back into spawn and switch to Reinhardt straight away as they see this. Like, I think they saw something happening because you can see the particles of the teleporter. They're just gonna walk past them. They're gonna use that wall in order to get the positioning they need. The turrets are doing so much work though. Serena going very low in that mech, but Will's already down. And with that main healer gone, yes, you still have a Baptiste, but that's a lot of work. A lot of work you cannot be doing on that Moira right now. They were Field saves for a little bit, but only a little bit. Blue gets to kill the Paragon. This is good. This is all falling apart here for the Kings Row Saints. Will we go to a map 5? It's looking very likely right now with all the picks. But Nexus, once again, trying to come up clutch, get Storm Creator out. But the spawns are closer for the attackers. Are the Volcanic Violets able to do this? Snowbird doing a lot of damage, but will not be long for this world. And it looks like this archway is just going to be broken. It's just going to be pushed through. It's just Aerosmith on the point here. Paragon trying to come back here, but you're not going to get through a Reaper on your own. Aerosmith, valiant efforts on that Mei, has no block left, and that is the Volcanic Violets pushing us to a map 5. And that is an exciting series we have for you tonight. We thought it was going to be good, but I don't think many people expected this.
You know, I think it's finally come down to, while I was saying earlier, Nexus needs to go see a chiropractor, the straw that broke the camel's back seems to be Blue just finally matching his DPS on the other side of the screen and fragging out absolutely insane clutch timing to be fragging out.
I think a lot of it was happened. What you pointed out as well before is that the Volcanic Violets are finally started to play their own game. They've stopped only mirroring what the Kings Row Saints are doing, and it's working for them. It might be that they just know these maps a little bit better than we've been seeing in the last two, but it also just looks like they're more comfortable with what they're doing, and especially that Symmetra pick of Smooshy was just looking so much better than the Symmetra pick of Nexus. So it's one of those things where if you put people on their comfort heroes, they can sometimes just do so much more, even if that hero is not necessarily the best one. We're gonna give the players a little bit of breathing room, so we'll be back very quickly. And in the meantime, no, just everyone, just go discuss. What do you think is gonna happen? Who do you think is gonna win? Pick your sides. Pick a team. I want to see the ones in the chat for the Volcanic Violets, the twos in the chat for the Kings Road Saints. And we're gonna count the votes afterwards. See you on the other side.
I can learn to understand you much better if...
Map 5! We're going to be doing it, guys. Map 5 between the Volcanic Violets, Kings Rose Saints. It's the Rose Cup Season 3. You know where we at. Men of Class 2 are in the booth with Megalad. And what a series we've had so far. Going to Ilios next. Anything can happen, can't it?
Anything can happen. Volcanic Violets finally playing their own style instead of mirroring. Kings Row Saints, not exactly, decimated just yet. They're still keeping it close, playing inopportune compositions. I can't wait to see what we see on Ilios, because this is a map where all 3 points, none of them really favor a Reinhardt.
Well. Guess what we're starting with? I'm sorry, I had to do it.
Ruins.
But right now, it looks like we can't really see what they're going to run out because we have 30 seconds before they really are even visible. So for now, we can talk a little bit about what's been happening so far. We've seen a lot of Reinhardt from Paragon and a lot of May Reaper that follows up with it. But on the other side, they've been starting to run their own things a little bit more. Not so much on the mirror, are they, the Volcanic Violets?
Yeah, no, Volcanic Violets have decided that the mirror is not what suits them. They're going back to their set plays, slushy, clutch hero picks like the Symmetra, but they can play the May Reaper just as well as anybody else, as they've shown. Storm Creator kind of being a silent tank, obviously you don't see the impact that he is having on the game, but he's creating space, allowing his team to do what they can, and Siren just being a huge distraction, whether it be with the D.Va himself or the D.Va bomb, allows his DPS to set up even more. And I don't know, we're on well. We've got some hogs. Well, we have one hog, and I want to see people in the hole. That's pretty much it.
Guys, want to see those boops happening all the time, but for now it's going to be Sereniac on the D.Va still. Of course, it's going to be harder to hit the halt hook if there's a May and a D.Va in the way, but they can still get booped into the hole. It's definitely possible. Right now, though, Storm Creator just gets spooked. They could pull up in the air regardless, but Paragon under a lot of pressure. Once again, they're really targeting Paragon a lot, but Osprey is the one that gets hooked in and taken out first. Smooshy into the well. It looks like this first attack this first fight over the point really is not really going into the favor of the Volcanic Violets.
Yeah, and as I was saying though, Paragon proving me wrong that he's not just a Reinhardt one trick. He can play Orisa or at least throw people into the well, which, not everybody can do. So he's got something going for him. But we do have, it's interesting the slight differences in these compositions. Obviously a D.Va Moira one side, and you have a Hog and a Ana on the other. So interesting to see how this matches up.
Will's Anti-Nates are back, and that early wall from Aerosmith doesn't really slow them down. They're just going to try and go in hard. Osprey hooked, but not killed this time. And they are under a lot of pressure. But the boop is there. Seinfeld gets 2, and that is a beautiful opening. Paragon does fall, and they get the counter boop too. Storm Creator pulls it back. It looks like this fight is not over just yet. And so many environmental kills in one fight. I might not never have seen that. Another one from Seinfeld gets Sereniac in there, and that's going to be the fight over. But that's insane. You wanted to see people in the well, and it definitely happened there.
Yeah, it definitely happened, and as chat and my fellow caster are roasting me, apparently it...
I seem to have lost connection to Megalad for a little bit because
apparently it is smushy. Am I not here? Hello? Yes.
No, you were a little bit out there. You're back, Megalad. So let's go into this next one for a little bit. Blue jumping in from above doesn't really get anything for his troubles just yet, but Paragon does fall in the end. Losing your Reaper for a main tank, Nexus doesn't care. Goes in with the Nano Reaper, doesn't even need a Death Blossom, just throws down the shotguns, gets frozen up, but Nexus will get taken down as a result. Will somehow, on top of a pillar, manages to get in there with the anti-nade, but they are losing members on the side of Kings Row Saints. Will not being able to get out of that freeze, but Smooshy will fall on the other side as well. I didn't really know how this fight's gonna end, but that charge of Paragon will definitely not net any kills. The Sound Bear from Seinfeld is there. The hook is there from Snowbrit. You're not gonna be able to do anything. Seinfeld with another boop. This map looks to be over, at least this stage of this map. Kings Row Saints gonna look like to be taking it. Blue Pool tries to pull it back maybe though. I mean, a Reaper with a Death Blossom just kills too, and that's Paragon gone. Blue is now the carry Reaper. No more Nexus. The crown has been lifted.
Yeah, and I think this comes down to just we're stuck on an odd composition here if you are the Kings Row Saints, because you have a Reinhardt paired with a Roadhog. Not a whole lot of synergy, but you're sticking on primarily because of ultimates. You do have 4 ultimates coming back in if you are the Kings Row Saints versus just a beat drop on the side of Violet, so it's gonna be a tough hold if you're Violet.
Storm Creator on the Wrecking Ball. You can't boop someone if they boop you first. They get a nice shatter from Paragon, but only Sereniac demeched, and it's going to be Will going down on the other side. We're losing Osprey and Rainer though. That cannot really be good. Smooshy in the pit again. I think they've seen the bottom of the well a lot of the times. Even Aerosmith falling in. It's just a party down there. I think there's just a dance floor and people are having a party. That's literally what's going on. Just Sereniac on the point left, out of the mech, out of life pretty soon. Osprey gets another boop onto Snowbrit. These environmental kills are not stopping anytime soon. It's going to be the beat from Osprey. Will even just be able to stall that even longer. And there is the Wrecking Ball. And we know how Wrecking Balls can stall out well for a long time, but not if you're dead. Smooshy, nice wall. Gonna get the freeze and the follow-up. No, it doesn't look like it. It's gonna be Osprey falling as well. And finally, this point looks to be to finally flip him back over, and the map gonna be finished. But Blue is back in. The Viva's back in. Can they actually stall us out for longer? No. There's the point flip, maybe, finally. The boop over the well, not into it. Storm Creator will fall, though. There's the flip, but not yet. The 100% is just gonna keep going. Well, we've seen some pretty long fights here, but this is probably one of the longer ones that I've seen ever. It just keeps on going with all these sustainable heroes. No clutch death loss this time from Blue, though. The freeze is there on Paragon, but no one to kill him. Storm Creator and Sereniac are on the side, but I mean, they can't really get any kills out of this, it looks like. The self-destruct may be able to get someone. Does get Aerosmith, but and Sereniac gets back into the well. Nexus actually falling in this time. No more Reaper. They're losing the DPS. Paragon is trying to swing around here, but Sereniac just pumps in the damage with those Diva shotguns. Osprey trying to get another boop in, but it's going to be Blue actually getting Paragon from the other angle. Blue teleporting forward, goes for a Will. Can they actually get it back? It's insane. This fight is going on forever, and they catch it back. The Volcanic Violence, they erupt back onto the point, and they just completely overwhelm it. Magma flowing, guys. Wow.
That's actually an insane flip from the side of Violet. And there's, like, you're building up to ultimates if you're Kings, but this is just clearly just such a brawl.
Finally, Storm Creator Smooshy off the map once again, but can they actually do something more than that? They need to clean up this point. Nexus nothing out of the Death Bolt because Blue puts a shotgun into the face. Paragon down again. Yes, they have the mines there, which they get some kills out of. Another few environmental kills here from Seinfeld. It's just Storm Creator there, goes into the well. I think this might actually be it this time, but no. Smooshy back on the Tracer. Will they be able to stall out long enough for anyone else to make it before they die? Smooshy trying so hard, but you get very far, but in the end, will it actually matter? I think it won't, because that is finally the flip, but that went on for way longer than it had any right to.
You made it to 99-99 if you're Violet, and clearly you can show that you're scrappy in these final engagements, but you gotta be just a tad more clutch to pull it out if you're Violet, because we're now on not only map point, but match point for the Kings Row Saints.
It's so close. And you would think that the Kings of Saints, after losing the point like that, you might get a mental blow, but they do pull it back. So they are there. They're almost made it to the finish line of this series in their favor. But we've seen what the Volcanic Violets can do. We know how they can pull it back. And who knows, without maybe as many environmental kills, who's going to come out on top of this one?
Yeah, and as you see, you know, the different compositions, once again, Smushy trying out that Ash one last time. Blue proving the Reaper skills, so it's going to be interesting. And it's an interesting move from Kings Row to go directly to the point and just hold it, as in a dare, a taunt almost, saying, come to us.
That's normally not something that an Orisa comp is good at, but they're trying to do it anyways. It's going to be Blue from the side, gets taken out of the map, but so is Will down. Missing a lot of healing versus a lot of damage. Sereniac under a lot of pressure from Nexus, but also Storm Creator getting taken down by Boom. Not off the map quite. I think it just was like the final blow, but they are going to take the point first on Kings Row. As I say that though, nice anti-nade came in from Raynor that may have been able to pull the full tides back had there been a little bit more damage. Right now though, first cap to Kings Row Saints.
Yep, first cap, we're getting the staggered kills cleaned up now. I want to see if the side of Violets are going to try to switch anything up. If they stick on this Ash, I'm going to be questioning it. Nope, there's the switch onto the Mei. And I think it's just all on Blue at this point. With a hold like this that Kings Row has on the point, Blue has to come up big, get a pick that nobody's expecting, not get booped off the map, and proceed from there.
And right now they're once again like looking from the outside in. The Shatter doesn't get anything because the Fortify was out. Storm Creator will still fall. Smushy's trying on that Mei, is nanoed up, and Blue gets the kill on the Paragon. Both main takes out of it, but Blue will fall. Is Smushy gonna get anything done with this Mei? Has at least tried to catch up with that ultimate charge as opposed to Aerosmith. But right now they're only trying to get into a point that they have no right being right now because they're missing too many members. Raynor going down late, and Sereniac will probably get out with the mech though.
And with this ultimate advantage that Kings has, ooh, the staggered late onto that's gonna be brutal. But like I was saying, just the ultimates on the side of Kings is definitely gonna at least let them get 99 on this point. And a stagger like that where you're jumping off now. Violet's looking down the barrel of a loaded gun right now. They have to come up big and come up clutch now, or it's series over, reverse sweep or not.
We've seen them do it many times before, so I'm really looking forward to them doing it again because this series has just been amazing. I don't want it to end. Nexus is up there, but there is the eat. Serena gets the ultimate debate at the moment when they most need it. Aerosmith goes down. There is the grab, but they think they will still be able to make it to the point, especially with Snowbrit down. Blue is on the sideline. Will definitely be able to get there. Nexus goes down, and right now, 97%, they're on the point. They throw out the self-destruct. Who's going to get away from that? Will definitely isn't. So now Paragon will fall, and Seinfeld with the last one there, also down. Point will flip, 99% once again, and we're going for another one.
We're in one fight territory now, but if they play the point, Violet has a chance to hold this, but they're holding aggressively forward with an Orisa, which it can pay off in the long run maybe, but it's a risky play nonetheless. It is just that one fight, one pick. They do have the ultimates in their favor. No Diva to eat on the side of King, so that Blizzard's going to come through free.
Who's ready? The Rammer once again from Paragon, not getting much. Blue went in for the death pulse and did a lot of damage, and Paragon just falls early straight away. Nexus alone on the point will not get anything done, and that Coalescence was not allowed to save anyone. Raynor almost went down, but stayed alive, so it doesn't really matter in the end. Aerosmith is the sole survivor. Actually, Will was there as well, but yeah, Aerosmith and Will get out alive together. Not that much. All percentage accrued there. Actually spent a few on the attackers, and Will goes down.
Huge late pick, and like you were saying, just ultimates used for and got nothing out of value from the side of Kings Row. Whereas you didn't use a whole lot if you're the Violet. So now you're ticking up towards 60%. With your ultimates, you're pretty much looking at 99%. So this is going to come down to a 99-95 fight if you can clutch up big and send us to that third round of Ilios.
They're playing it safe. They have the Blizzard ready, and Smushy is looking for it. There it goes out, gets almost everyone. Nexus falls down from the top, though, gets Storm Creator. But I think most of them are frozen up here on the Kings Row Saints. Paragon on a lot of pressure once again. Doesn't have anything in terms of damage or a shatter. Blue will fall, though. Sereniac out of the map. mech, and right now they're on the point. They have the barrier out though on the defense. The Paragon is starting to swing. He's starting to get around, gets a charge kill onto Seinfeld, onto Smooshy there. Sereniac is down, and it looks like right now the point might very well flip into the Kings Row Saints' favor. But there's the Wrecking Ball. Can he get a boop kill? No, it does look like a Storm Creator. You're not gonna be long for this world. And right now, I think this might be Kings Row Saints taking it. The entire series going their way potentially off of this last fight. And overtime's gonna start ticking. The Blizzard, the Graviton. Yep. It's too much. The CC was overwhelming, and Kings Row Saints, after 5 maps, after 3 points in control, they finally get it there. But that was a struggle.
That was a struggle. You definitely were concerned for a minute if you were Kings Row. I think these two teams, it could have gone either way this evening. They were so evenly matched. And this play right here, I want to highlight because just a huge kill onto Blue. Blue tried to come up as big as he could, and it just wasn't enough.
I mean, sometimes you cannot let everything go your way. But I will say that was one of the more amazing series that I've seen so far. And with the Rose Cup only being in the first week, we're gonna go for quite a while, guys. This is looking to be a great season. I've been Man of Class here together with Mega Lad. We hope to see you soon in the next one.
Oh, yeah, we player of the game? Yes.
Oh yeah, I mean we can talk about that if you want. I don't have anywhere to be, so yeah, obviously we're gonna talk about that. No, I mean we gotta get a little bit of a shout out to Paragon. No, not just the game win, not just the Reinhardt, but obviously the birthday, and that's something you can always appreciate a person for. Got another year on this world, and you know what? You level up because that's how life works.
Yes, indeed. And Paragon Birthday Boy gets my player of the game as well, just because while it was supported by his team a lot of the time, just the over aggressive Reinhardt play did so much for them on so many of the maps, whether it was win loss or draw on the maps. I guess we didn't have any draws, but win or loss, they turned up to 11 every single map, and that's all you can really ever ask from your main tank.
I do want to give a little bit of a shout out to Will though, because Paragon, we said it a few times, was very aggressive, but without Will supporting that with that Moira and at times the Anna with the beautiful anti-nades, that was definitely not possible. So good shout out to Will there as well on that support, keeping Paragon up as much as possible. And Volcanic Violets really did turn it around to try and shut down Paragon a lot in the end. So good job to still be able to sustain that a little bit.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But
Now,
obviously,
yeah, this will
as
actually be
Mana
it
Class
though.
already said,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I cut it off a little bit short, guys. I guess I just wasn't ready for really talking about the game yet. I just was still in shock from everything. But right now, it is actually time to end. We're still very sorry to see everything go here, and I hope to see more series like this.
yeah, indeed, the game 5 is always fun to see, and especially when it's just so close between these two. Like tonight, you got to see some phenomenal Overwatch from two teams that had their own playstyles, and really, what more could you ask for?
Not much, not much. I'll definitely lie. Like, not much else I could ask for. What I can ask for now, right now though, is a little bit of a sip of water because it's been a hot one and it's been a long one. And right now, we're gonna give you a very good night. We'll see you in the next one. And yeah, that's about it.
Yes, indeed. Tune in next time. This has been your casters, Man of Class and Megalad, and good night.